On September 11th, 2017, at the World Arm Wrestling Championships in Budapest, Hungary, Levan suffered two shocking defeats, one against Sabin Badulescu and another against his fellow Georgian Gennady Kvitvinia. Now let's analyze what went wrong for Levan in these matches. Against Sabin, Levan went straight for the pin, but Sabin blocked him, protected his pronation and managed to stop the drive. With Levan contained, Sabin rose up, applied a ton of pronation force and eventually cracked Levan's wrist. From there, Sabin surged sideways and got a pin. Then against Gennady, Levan was drawn in a hook. Gennady defended Levan's hit brilliantly, absorbed the attack and then countered inside to finish Levan. This was the last time we ever saw Levan lose on the big stage. From that moment forward, Levan began a transformation that would turn him into one of the most feared arm wrestlers alive. Fast forward 1 year, and it's November the 18th, 2018. In Rumia, Poland, the Vendetta All-Stars event organized by the PAL takes place. It is a super match card, featuring some of the strongest arm wrestlers in the world, like Devon Larratt, Denis Siplenkov, or of course Levan Saginashvili. Levan was there to face off against Dmitry Trubin. This was Levan's first true super match against an established athlete. At the time, Trubin was considered one of the strongest heavyweights in the world, and many believed his endurance and experience would be enough to beat Levan. But instead, it was a massacre. Trubin first tried hitting sideways, but once he was stopped, Levan started rising up, took the high ground and easily cracked Trubin's wrist. From there, he applied side pressure and simply dragged Trubin to the pad. Levan swept Trubin 6-0, and every round looked the same. This was the world's first glimpse of the new Levan, not just a rising star, but a monster who was capable of overwhelming elite heavyweights with brute force alone. Soon after, Levan would be invited into the Top 8 tournament, probably the most prestigious tournament at the time, where the best of the best would compete in a super match format for prizes ranging in tens of thousands of dollars. The first stage of the tournament took place in Malaysia on April 5th, 2019, and Levan's first opponent was none other than Tim Bresnan. Bresnan had made a career out of being super tricky to pull, a veteran with a very strong defensive pulling style and crazy endurance. If anyone could test Levan's gas tank, it was Tim. But once again, Levan never even let the match develop. Every round, he clamped down with his fingers, turned Tim's palm up and drove sideways with ease. Bresnan's endurance didn't matter, because he never even managed to create a stop. With this win, Levan advanced to the top 4. The stage 2 of the tournament took place on September the 14th, 2019, in Shenzhen, China, where his next opponent was the explosive Kazakh top roller Kidrigali Ongerbayev, a dangerous, explosive and super smart top roller. If Levan had a weakness to his speed or finesse, Ongerbayev was the man to expose it. In the match, Kidrigali put up the best fight he possibly could, displaying incredible spirit, but he was no match for Levan's frame and hand control. Off the go, Levan immediately contained Kidrigali's hit, and then simply went sideways. This continued for another 5 rounds, and it was another clean sweep for the Georgian Hulk. The win secured Levan a place in the finals, and people really started to question if there was anyone who could give Levan trouble. And if there was a man who had the chance, then it was Vitaly Laletin. Vitaly Laletin was the biggest challenge yet. At over 2 meters tall with a massive forearm and incredible side pressure, his top roll was devastating. Many believed his leverage would be enough to defeat Levan. Vitaly first swept Dmitry Trubin 6-0, then destroyed Evgeny Prudnik 5-1, and he was coming into the final in an incredible shape. On December 8th, 2018, Rumia, Poland, the finals of the Top 8 tournament. Levan and Vitaly are ready to show the world what they are capable of. Both athletes take a grip, a ready go happens, and they both evenly slip. Once strapped, everyone is holding their breaths as one of the most anticipated matches of the year is about to take place. Off the go, Vitaly hits to the side with a low hand top roll, which is something he excels at. He puts as much pressure as possible into Levan's fingers. Levan puts every bit of force he can into his back pressure and rising. For a few seconds, the match is stopped in a deadlock in the center, but slowly, Vitaly's wrist starts cracking back. Right after, his elbow slips off the pad. and a restart happens. On the second go, Vitaly hits again, but this time Levan contains more effectively, cracking Vitaly's wrist with a single surge. Levan keeps surging, hitting to the side. He keeps repositioning himself into a more efficient angle, and eventually Vitaly's arm goes down. That gives Levan the first win. Except it doesn't, because Levan had an elbow foul. But it's still a dominant show of force from Levan in the first round, and people are wondering if Vitaly has any answers. However, from that point forward, the match was one-sided. Levan's containment of Vitaly's hit got better every round. There was simply nothing Vitaly could do. By the end of 2019, Levan had risen to the top of the sport, proving he can defeat anyone in his path. But across the ocean, there were still challengers waiting.